Danny, I'm going to ask you, since you missed it, that we were able to still give some of your picks. Are you ready to count them up?
Let's do it.
As much as I think it's the under is a safe play, like I can't even.
Count them up. Count them up. How many games y'all going to win this fall?
I can't fathom 8 wins.
How many games y'all going to win this fall?
I just can't. I don't see it. It's not on there. It's not the schedule I'm looking at. Unless there's another schedule somewhere.
And the schedule that I'm looking at is for the Kansas State Wildcats. Kansas State, right there in the Big 12 title race over the last couple years. Chris Kleiman has established the Wildcats as one of the standard bearers in the Big 12. We enter the Avery Johnson era, one of the most highly regarded quarterback prospects to be signed by Kansas State in the modern era. His hair is amazing. His playmaking might be even better. We pick up Dylan Edwards, his former teammate, out of the transfer portal. We lose some transfer portal stars on the defensive side of the ball, as well as some players to the NFL. NFL losses on the offensive line as well. At FanDuel Sportsbook, where you can make every moment more, the win total set at 9.5, juiced under. Tom, where do we start with Kansas State?
I have them going over, but it is not with what I would consider an extreme level of confidence. I think that, we've talked about it a lot. They weren't exactly shedding tears with Will Howard leaving because they kind of knew the direction they wanted to go with Avery Johnson. I think he has a lot of excitement to him. I still have a lot of questions about him as a passer of the football. You don't really see a ton of, great success in that department when he played last year. But I also think that him combined with the running backs that they have in DJ Giddens and getting Dylan Edwards from Colorado in the portal, I think there could be a lot of fun in that. I think that the offensive line, it's probably going to be fine, but you lose, what's his name? The giant. Beebe. You lose Beebe at guard, who was just a massive man mover of a, guard. And I don't know if they have that guy still on the line. He did a lot of work for them in the run game. I don't know. Like, they get Dante Cephas transfers in at receiver. I was big on Cephas when he transferred to Penn State last year, but he was just kind of invisible in that offense. And I don't know if we're going to see a larger impact for him in this offense. You lose Colin Klein to Texas A&M, so you've got, a new coordinator calling the plays. I think defensively they'll be fine. They've always been a team that doesn't really have superstars on that side of the ball, but they're, as a unit, they work well. So I've got them winning 10 games, but like I said, it's just, you look at the schedule, they'll kill UT Martin. I think they're going to win at Tulane on the road. You get Arizona at home, you get Oklahoma State at home, you get Kansas at home. Like, that's big. You don't have to play Utah. Your road schedule features Iowa State, which I think is probably your toughest road game. I guess you can argue West Virginia, but Houston, Colorado, I think experience and coaching wise, I'm willing to give this team the benefit of the doubt a lot. But my opinion of the Wildcats could change quickly once the season starts.
Ooh. Oh, it's an early dub.
The mic mute. Okay. Maybe that's the universe telling me not to bet under, but I am under.
Yeah, it is.
I really trust Chris Kleiman. I'm all about Avery Johnson. I think this is one of the best coached teams in the conference, but I just don't think that they are a top 12-ish power rated football team, which is basically what I would need to rate them at, to have them go over the 9.5, even accounting, for the juice. I think there's, probably 8 or 9 SEC teams that are better. I think there's probably 3 ACC teams that are better, Notre Dame, 4 or 5 Big Ten teams. So I just, in that sort of range where they're more in that 15 to 22 power rating, I have a very hard time going there. And they have so many games where they're slightly more than a touchdown favorite, but not quite 14, to where you can just, if you want to just kind of go win-loss, go and just check off the automatic win. What should they really beat Oklahoma State? They're not going to be 10 plus to Oklahoma State in Manhattan. That's games probably 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there. Games that are absolutely losable, at West Virginia. They're favored, they're not favored by a touchdown on the road. I think all these teams in this conference are very closely clustered together. And I'm going to bet with that in mind.
I'm with you on that last statement, Bud. This team, there's going to be some carnage, I think, in this league. I mean, that's been the one thing that they even sold was the competitive balance, which makes it tougher on all of these. When I was going down the schedules, doing, W's or L's, which one's it going to be? And some of them you can go through other conferences and it's just like, yep, I know for certain that team is this much better. And this one, I didn't have quite as much confidence. I am going 9-3 as well. I think even the Tulane game, going to Yeoman Stadium, is going to be tricky. That's a tough spot to play. I mean, they gave Ole Miss a handful last year too. And I know there's been some turnover, but I still think Tulane could be a tough spot to play. The Colorado, West Virginia back-to-back road games, I think is a really tricky stretch for them. But probably most importantly, and my biggest concern is around Avery Johnson. I mean, he's supposed to be great, and I know they sent Will Howard packing off to Ohio State, but he's still a very young quarterback. Where I think there will be some mistakes made, in crucial situations in tight games. A lot of these one possession games, whether it's a touchdown around there or not, I just think those could come back to get them. So I have them going 9-3 as well.
Yeah, 8 or 9 SEC teams that might be power rated higher. I see 0 on the schedule. 3 ACC teams that might be power rated higher. I see 0 on the schedule. Teams that might be power rated higher in their own conference. I see 0 on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we go over here. Absolutely. Okay, 0 certified losses. 12-0 is within the realm of possibility here. I'm more at like a 10.5 the way that I look at this. It's nice that you get Oklahoma State at home. I do think that's probably your toughest game in general. At Iowa State, I agree, Tom, is the toughest road trip. At West Virginia, it could be, even in the words of James Franklin, an absolute hornet's nest. But look, I'll give them. I think I'll give them all the rest of them. Like I'm at like 8 or 9 W's that I write in on the schedule right here. I like your point about Avery Johnson. Danny, it's already got my wheels turning. Have we had a year where there have been so many second-year quarterbacks where the future or the outlook for a college football team is hinging on them capitalizing on promise, whether it is Kansas State or Oklahoma or Tennessee? I mean, it feels like that's kind of a unique thing in college football. So I'm ready to recognize that, but I'm doing the opposite of what Bud has told you is the smart move, which is like you should be betting to the middle, right? Like in this conference, all the teams at the top, I feel great about, and all the teams at the bottom, I am absolutely burying. And this is one of those examples where a team at the top, I just do think that there's a separation between them and a Colorado, between them and, I mean, Colorado and Houston on the road, but you get Arizona at home. I just don't see where the traps are, again, unless like Avery Johnson gets hurt along the way.
I do think Morgantown, after going to Colorado, is the obvious trap there.
Right.
Like back-to-back roadies there. I also have them, I mean, pretty decidedly better than everybody else in the league, except for Utah. To me, if you're not like a true top 10 power rated team, I have a hard time making you like 10 points better than everybody else.
Yep. All right.
How many games y'all gonna win this fall?